Post Malone spends big bucks on a trading card. Elon Musk is swiping valuable Twitter handles left, right, and center. And NFT sales are down for a 5th consecutive month. Let's get into it. Post Malone pays $2 million for the One Ring Magic the Gathering card. So recently, Magic the Gathering collabed with Lord of the Rings. So they had Lord of the Ring themed cards. And they created only one card that represented the ring from Lord of the Rings. There's only one, and they obviously replicated that with the cards that they created. So there was only one version of this card that had the ring on it. So obviously loads of people were buying the packs up and trying to find this one card that there was only one version of, knowing that it would be worth loads of money. And it's probably one of the rarest cards that they've maybe produced. And this guy, his name is Brooke Trafton from Toronto. He managed to find it, and there's a video of him holding it, and his hand is literally shaking because he's so in disbelief of finding it. So yeah, he found the card, and obviously when you find a card that is worth crazy amounts of money, what do? You obviously want to keep it safe, but you don't obviously want to tell anyone. So he obviously says here, so he initially rung the store up that he bought the packs from to ask how to verify of a card's authenticity. And he rung up, and they hung up on him because they thought he was pranking them. Anyway, the next day he actually hired a lawyer because he just didn't know what to do, and then I think he ended up finding a bank that allowed him to store the card in, obviously to keep it safe. And it says here he said, I wanted to tell everyone, but I couldn't. I had to keep it a secret. I didn't even tell my dad. And that's the thing, when you hold something physical of so much value, you don't really want to tell anyone because you end up putting a target on yourself. But yeah, obviously, word got out that he had the card because he did obviously initially, once the card was safe in a bank, he then obviously told people about it. He had people lining up, obviously making offers for it as well. And he is a Post Malone fan anyway. And he knew Post Malone. Post Malone is big into Magic the Gathering. And he spent, I think, I don't know how recent this was, but he spent $800,000 on a Black Lotus card that was signed by the illustrator. And the Black Lotus is one of the rarest cards in Magic the Gathering, but not as rare as this new card of the ring, the One Ring. And so yeah, Post Malone found out. He invited this guy, Brooke Trafton, to like a backstage just so he could like see the card and take photos of it with holding it and stuff like that. And then obviously Post Malone fell in love with the card and made him an offer, and eventually the guy sold it to Post Malone for $2 million. So he found a card worth $2 million and sold it. So this guy literally from a retail worker became a millionaire pretty much overnight, which is a crazy story. Crazy story. But yeah, I mean, it's one that every kind of like card collector kind of dreams of, opening a pack and finding that card that's worth loads of money. There's loads of videos as well of him like meeting Post Malone, as you can see there. There's a photo of them two together holding the card. But yeah, I mean, the Lord of the Rings the Lord of the Rings collab with Magic the Gathering was obviously a massive success. Stories like this obviously help its success as well, and they've already lined up loads of other collabs, but this time more kind of gaming franchises. So they have like a convention that happened this year, and they announced 3 huge names in gaming that they're going to collab with. So the first one was Fallout. So they're going to make Fallout cards, and this is coming out March of next year, 2024. Assassin's Creed is the next one, and that's coming out July of 2024. And then Final Fantasy as well is going to be another expansion, and that'll be in 2025. And they're also going to do, I think later this year, they're doing a collab with Jurassic World as well, because it's celebrating their 30th anniversary. So yeah, lots of collabs happening with Magic the Gathering. I personally don't collect Magic the Gathering cards. I still think they're quite cool though. I'm more of a Pokemon kind of guy. It's just kind of what I grew up with really. So it's the one I gravitate towards the most. But yeah, just thought I'd share that story with you because it's a pretty cool one for anyone who, you know, collects trading cards and things like that. Elon Musk strikes again. He is taking control of valuable Twitter handles. So the most recent one he's stolen is @music. When I say stolen, I mean he technically owns them because it's a centralized platform and he owns that platform. So technically he can claim what he wants. That's kind of how centralized platforms work, I guess. But yeah, he's claimed another victim, and this time it's @music. So the guy Jeremy Vaught, he's owned the Twitter handle for 16 years, and recently Elon Musk seized the Twitter handle from him completely out of the blue. So he obviously made a tweet here on his own personal account. 16 years ago I created @music and have been running it ever since. Just now Twitter/X just ripped it away. Super pissed. And you would be. I mean, that's the problem with building something on a platform that's centralized. You don't own anything. So the people who own the platform can rip that away from you whenever they want. That's why there is a need for decentralized platforms. It's just, you know, I don't know. A lot of people don't obviously use social media for business. I mean, a lot of people do, but most people don't. So for most people, they're not that bothered. But for the people that do, a decentralized platform is definitely something that a lot of people would be interested in. It's just finding one having one that finds some traction, I guess, to actually compete with the big boys. But anyway, yeah, so this obviously goes in line with what Musk wants to do with, you know, X.com. He wants to make it into an everything app. So he's obviously seizing loads of kind of valuable Twitter handles. So obviously this one was @music because he obviously wants to make some sort of like, you know, music kind of feature on there. He's obviously recently nicked the @sports because he probably has an idea for what he wants to do with sports on there as well. He wants to make it an everything app. So you do banking, it's entertainment, music, obviously, you know, socializing. It's going to be the one-stop shop for everything. That's his idea. And they have a similar app like that in Asia called WeChat, where again you can just do everything on it, and he wants to make the kind of Western version of that. So it's quite interesting seeing what handles, you know, Elon Musk is nicking, because it gives you an idea of what he's going to add to X.com. But yeah, it's kind of harsh that he's not even like offering any sort of compensation for the accounts, considering, you know, how much money he does have. But at the end of the day, he technically owns those accounts anyway, so you don't really have a leg to stand on. There's no argument there really. So he says here he's obviously he has that losing the @music account prompted him to cancel his subscription to Twitter Blue, which is kind of, yeah. But despite his anger towards X, he doesn't plan on quitting the social media platform. And then he goes on to say, I don't see any other alternative to Twitter right now. I'm on Mastodon, but there doesn't seem to be any traction. I signed up for Threads, and I'm one of those that never went back after. So like a lot of people, you know, he's seeking an alternative to Twitter, to X, but there just isn't one, because you need everyone to go over to that new platform in one go. Having just a few people go over to it, you're just not going to be able to connect with as many people. It's as simple as that. And then obviously, like with many people, he signed up to Threads, then never returned. And I have to admit, I'm one of those people. I signed up, I thought, oh yeah, it's quite cool, but to be honest, I don't remember the last time going back on it. It's just, it's just so boring on there. It's so boring, and it's just it's just way too similar to Twitter. It's just that Twitter has more on it. So why would I not use Twitter? It makes so much more sense. There needed to be some sort of unique feature, I think, on Threads for it to actually gain any sort of traction. And if you look at the stats of like how many people, active users, are on there compared to how many people have signed up, it's a bit tragic, I have to admit. I don't know what Zuck's plans are for it, but if he doesn't do anything with it soon, it's just going to be another one of his ideas that has failed, essentially. And back to NFTs. NFT sales fell for the 5th consecutive month, $495 million in July. So the NFT space isn't doing too well right now. Although it seems like there's a new project being launched every week, there's less and less money being spent in the space. NFT sales totaled $495.6 million, down 23% from last month. So today's decline could be attributed to a number of factors, like consumers buying NFTs for less. The average sale in July was just $47, meaning fewer people are interested in blue chip NFTs. So I think the transaction, so it says here, the transaction levels have remained high in the past couple of months. June had about 10.8 million transactions and July had about 10.4. So the transaction levels are high. It's just that people just aren't spending as much on per NFT as they were back in, the last bull run. So it says here, so only 2 NFTs, a Bored Ape and a CryptoPunk, was sold for over $1 million during last month, or the last 30 days. So yeah, last month. So yeah, people are buying NFTs. They're just buying cheap NFTs, which is easy at the moment because a lot of them are cheap. I think with NFTs, there will be another bull run, but it will be triggered by a kind of new way of using NFTs. I think NFTs in gaming is a sure thing, but I think we're going to get a bull run before the NFT gaming bull run. I still think we're a good 3, 4, 5 years away from NFTs in games being a big thing. I think what we'll get is another bull run based on something that's a lot less entertaining. It's very much more utility based. So NFTs used for like real world contracts or ownership, like tickets and things like that. That I can imagine there'll be like a new platform where that ends up becoming as big as Ticketmaster. It's essentially the same thing, but the tickets are NFTs. It doesn't require people to have like an NFT wallet. You can still sign up with an email address or something. Well, they technically do have a wallet for NFTs, but it's not like a fully decentralized one. But anyway, the tickets will be NFTs, and it will just stop people from being able to scalp tickets and stop resellers, essentially, which everyone would love. Everyone would love if we got rid of resellers in terms of event tickets, because they're scum. Essentially they are, and Ticketmaster does nothing to help that. And again, another platform that people are eager to move away from. It's just that there's no alternative. But I think with an NFT ticket platform that made tickets NFTs, obviously, but because of the NFTs would be non-transactable NFTs. So once you had that NFT, you wouldn't be able to sell it on, which would stop resellers, which means people would have a fair chance of being able to buy tickets. They could easily, obviously, limit the amount of tickets you could buy per person, and people wouldn't buy extra anyway because they wouldn't be able to sell them on. So it would easily, I just think that's probably going to be the next thing that allows NFTs to have another bull run. And then maybe after that, that's when we'll see the gaming NFTs really pop off. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be a very exciting kind of reason why NFTs pop off next, but it'll definitely be a useful one, that's for sure. That's just my take anyway. So I'm going to end the video there. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content, and I'll see you in the next one.